I want to talk about the way people come to me. I don't advertise. I do have a YouTube channel. I've got some social media out there. But my goal is never to be advertising. I'm kind of a well-kept secret. If I were a bar, that was weird. I don't know why I said that, but it's a good metaphor, I guess, because I wouldn't be the most popular bar in town. I'd be kind of the speakeasy. And the reason I say that is, again, because I only work one-to-one. I can only take on so many kids. So the process, once parents do find me and they apply, they submit the application, which is a fairly straightforward process. They contact me, I reach out to them, and we have either a phone call and then we go to a Zoom call, or we go straight to a Zoom call. And I meet the parents. Sometimes it's the mom and dad, or sometimes it's just the mom and the kid. And we see whether it's a good fit. Much of the time it is. Sometimes it's not a good fit, and I will recommend somebody else for them. If it is a good fit, we move on and they sign up, or they don't. I'm delighted when they sign up. If they don't, great. It's my great pleasure to recommend somebody else to them. Very often parents shop around, and I think that's an important thing for them to do. I want their child to find the best possible person for them. I don't think that any family should go through this alone. It's a very complex, it's a very Byzantine process, and I like the metaphor of it being a thorny hedge maze. So they'll come to me, we'll sign up, and the first thing I will ask for is writing samples. I need to see writing samples so I know what it is that I'm working with. It gives me a good baseline. I'll also ask for grades from the past at least 3 years, the current list of classes that my mentee is taking, and any other supporting materials. I want to see everything. I want to see samples of the art. I want to see anything that I can do to dive in and get my arms around what that person is doing. It helps just impact and inform my work with them. And parents are usually delighted to provide that. And very often in the days and weeks that follow, I get, can we submit this to you? And they get more or less unrestricted access to me, I mean, within reason. I did have a mentee a couple of years ago whose parents were contacting me 20 times a day, and I said, can we cluster this down to, a couple of times a week? But one of the things they're paying for is access to me. They're getting text access, they're getting email access, and they're getting, regular meetings with me. So I begin with all of my mentees on a weekly meeting basis. Usually an hour meeting, sometimes it's a 50-minute meeting. Kids have crazy schedules. So it's with the understanding, I always have moms and dads say, can we make it a regular time every week? And it never works out that way because kids have soccer practice, they get sick, there's a test that comes up, something happens. So it's always a rescheduling process, and that's cool. There's an organic nature to the process. I want to build that rapport with the kids with whom I have it. And sometimes they want to meet a couple of times a week. More often than not, what will happen is I'll have my meetings with my new mentees, and then they'll start texting me. They'll be like, is it okay if I show you this? I'll say, you don't have to whisper, because text is sort of a way of whispering. Kids very often don't like to use the phone. I had a mentee, they came on recently. I called him on the phone and I said, I need to talk to you about this. And he said, Dan, you're older than me, so you need to understand, I don't do the phone. I said, well, you do the phone now. So our next few meetings are going to be on the phone, because in real life, you need to learn the phone. And a couple of weeks later, he said, you know what? This phone thing's actually pretty good. Like, you need to tell the world. Like, you need to tell the people, like, this phone thing is pretty good. I'm of the belief that we are here on Earth to create wonderful memories and experiences for ourselves and for other people. And when you're able to do that, it's, for lack of a better word, a magical experience. I don't mean for that to sound kind of find your rainbow, but in a way it is. There's this amazing movie that came out 15 or 20 years ago called Inception. And it was about getting into other people's dreams. But the DiCaprio character in the very beginning of the movie said, the most impossible thing to remove is a thought. It's an idea. Once it's planted, you can never get rid of it. Once you plant that idea and that thought and that idea that, wow, I can do this, and I can pay this forward, and I can pass this forward, and I am able to do this. I mean, that's money. That's money, and that's magic, and that can never be taken away.
So, if any of this is resonating with you, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation.